class. Today we are going to discuss regarding the chemistry, O-level chemistry from the chapter 1, that is atomic structures, and it's related to the EDXL. So EDXL, regarding EDXL, we will go in details as per our previous guideline. So hope that it will go a long way to understand you regarding the subject matter in details. So we are going to start from the our first slide. That is, you can see here. Now you can see what is orbit and orbital. Today we will try to understand the concept regarding the concept of orbit and orbital. In our last class, we started a few basic questions and few basic topics to understand the chemistry and to have the crystal clear pictures of the chemistry. So today we'll go to discuss another important questions related to O-level EDXL curriculum. So firstly, we'll try to understand the concept of orbit and orbital. In our next slide, we'll try to understand the theoretical concept, and later on we'll have animation. Both the concept, both the theoretical and animation will help you to process the data from the short-term memory to long-term memory, and it will not be required to memorize. Just try to understand and follow me. Let's start. Here is the definition. You can see here: orbit and orbital. Orbit and orbital are two terms used to describe the locations of electron. What does mean by locations? Locations is equivalent to the positions of electrons. What I said? The positions of electron. Electron is an wave or is a particle. Electrons, as you know, electron have dual property. So we can see, or we can define it as a wave. We can define it as a particle. So you can say electron is a dual properties character at the substance. Now, when you are thinking about the positions, that is where the electron will reside in, or the electrons will stay within the atom, is the location. So every matter in this world have a natural property. What is the natural property? Natural property is that it will stay, uh, it will occupy some places. So in that sense, you can have the idea that electrons will have few locations, and the state or the positions or the location at which the electron is staying is simply known as orbit, to understand the within a plane concept. But this is there are some few complicated and higher thought concept, uh, as it is not related to your subject, so we will not go there. But just keep in mind, electrons reside in orbit. Now the questions. So if we want to define the orbit is a uh, circular way covering the nucleus or around the nucleus. So you can say here, okay, I'm right, okay, to extension coding. So to go here, this should be like this. This should be like this. This is the nucleus, and this one is the first orbit. I can give for the second orbit. This is the second orbit. So the thing is that at the center of an atom is the nucleus, which is containing the almost all mass of the element. And within the nucleus, there are circular way where electrons reside, or imaginary position maybe think, maybe considered as the positions or the locations of an electron. This is one concept. And that picture that you are watching at the screen is the orbit. Later on, we'll see animation. But now think that this is orbit. And if you draw a three-dimensional region around the orbit, this is like this. This is orbital. This one is orbital. This one is orbital. So we can write here orbital. This one is orbit. So now you can easily understand what is orbit and what is orbital. Orbit is the circular way where electrons are moving around the nucleus, and orbital is the three-dimensional region around the nucleus. So the basic difference of orbit and orbital: orbit is a circular way around the nucleus where electrons are moving, and the orbital is the three-dimensional region around the nucleus. From this slide, just keep in mind this, and the next thing or the extension we'll learn later on the next slide. So let's go again to the next slide. ডেফিনেশন, আমরা ডেফিনেশনে যাচ্ছি যে ডিফারেন্স গুলোর ক্ষেত্রে। আসলে আমরা ডেফিনেশন কিন্তু আমরা বুঝলাম প্রথম থেকে। এখন আমরা যাব হচ্ছে কোথায়? আমরা যাব হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্সের ক্ষেত্রে। What are the difference, basic difference between orbit and orbital? You can see here the number one way, path and versus probability cloud. Path and versus probability cloud. So let's go the next forward. Here you can see here orbit traditionally considered a well-defined path of often circular that an ওকে, এখানে একটু একটু প্রবলেম আছে। আমরা আমরা একটু দেখি এখান থেকে নিতে পারি কিনা। আচ্ছা, এখানে কি আছে? এখানে দেখা যাচ্ছে না। ওকে, কোনো প্রবলেম নেই। আমরা হচ্ছে এখানে ফিরে যাই। So এই জায়গাটাই in this slide will have some disturbance. Okay, let's try to understand circular this one. Okay, path means the round or circular way around the nucleus, as we have seen in the earlier slide. Probability cloud, the three-dimensional way around the nucleus where there is maximum probability of finding an electron. This is cloud. Okay, we will see later in details. Now you can see here dimensionally. Now you can see here dimensionally orbit often depicted as a two-dimensional representation in a plan. It means that orbit always refers the two-dimensional way. Orbit always refer to the two-dimensional ways, where orbital is a three-dimensional region. Got my point? here you can see we can have a picture slightly to so review the next slide, previous slide. This is nucleus. This is first orbit. This is second orbit. This is third orbit. So what will be the orbital? Orbital will be the this one, this one, this one. A three-dimensional. This is the three-dimensional way. If we draw clearly, then you can see this and this, this and this and this. This three-dimensional way. This is a 3D. This is 2D. So you can differentiate dimensionally. So in our previous slide we have seen in terms of circular way, in terms of the moving route. In our 2 point number in the point 2, we are watching that it also can different from each other in terms of dimensionality. So if we go back, you will have that previous slide. This is the first one. First number 1 point, path versus probabilities cloud. Path versus probability cloud. The next slide 2, in this slide we can see here orbit and orbital also can be differentiated in terms of dimensionality. What is dimension? Dimension means the length, that is longitudinal behavior, and the wideness and the depth. In case of orbit, it has 2-dimensional. In case of orbital, it has 3-dimensional. Next. Just wait. Can change clear the slide. Okay. Then I can go again. In this slide, you can see here shape. So orbit and orbital may also be divided or may be discriminated in terms of shape. What will be the shapes of orbit and orbital? Traditionally viewed as circular and elliptical. It means that orbital may be circular, as we have seen earlier, we have drawn earlier, and elliptical position you will see later. And orbital can have various shapes like spherical, s orbital, dumbbell shape, p orbital, and more complex shape. So you have to memorize this. Orbit, traditionally orbital and elliptical. Orbit. Whereas orbital, little bit complex, it may be spherical as s orbital, dumbbell shaped p orbital, and more complex. So from this slide you have learned 2 things. Okay, next. Now look at this slide. 4, precisions. Orbit gives a less precise idea of electron location. It means that electron, we think, as per scientific data, electron is moving around the orbit. So the orbit provides very few data regarding the movement of electron, whereas orbital provides more probabilistic approach, indicating the likelihood of finding an electron within a specific region. Got my point? More probabilistic approach. Just to remind it, just keep in mind, more probabilistic approach. Orbit is a less probabilistic approach. Orbit and orbital, in terms of precision, orbit is a less probabilistic approach. Orbital is a more probabilistic approach. Okay, so I think this slide is clear. Now next. Now slide 5. See here, modern view. From the invention of the atom or electron of Sir J. Thomson in 1932, it has the revolution has been happened tremendously, and the development of scientific instrument as a result of the scientific instrument and thinking procedure, we have earned more data regarding the movement or electrical particle behavior and the wave behavior. So in that terms, in modern view, orbit, the concept of a definite orbit is outdated in modern atomic theory due to the wave particle duality of electron. It means that in the first period, it has been imaginated that atoms are not divided in the terms of Dalton theory. Later on, it has been seen that it is divisible, and so many subatomic particles are connected to this. Now, modern concept is each and every particle has the duality. What means the duality? A particle having particle behavior and having wave behavior is known as duality. In this galaxy or in this universe, there is not a single particle, which is not bearing this property. Got my point? In this galaxy or in this universe, there is not a single particle which doesn't contain particle and wave behavior. So all the substance of this universe are connected to the duality. This is the fundamental principle of science, of atom, of particle, of any substance. All the substance of this universe are formed on the basis of electron, proton, neutron, fundamentally. So all the electron, proton, neutrons are containing duality. So we are also covering duality. We are also wave. We are also particle. If you think in broader sense, then each and every substance of this universe composed or behaving like a wave and particle. So if you think from your brain, this is wave. If you think from your brain, this is particle. If you think from your body, for your body, this is wave. If you think for your body, this is particle. So each and every substance of this world, it's one side it is bearing character like wave, on the other side it is bearing character of particle. So all of these substance are behaving like a duality. Okay, got my point. The next slide, next definition, that is orbital. The concept of orbitals aligns between the quantum mechanical model of the atom, explaining the electron behavior of probabilistically. Probabilistically. এখানে একটা জিনিস one here you should memorize that the pronunciations of the word probabilistically, this is wrong pronunciation, but almost 99% people are pronunciating this word like probabilistically. This is wrong. The correct pronunciation is probabilistically. 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 Got my point? Okay. Then what is orbital? In terms of modern view, the concept of orbitals aligns better with the quantum mechanical model of the atom. So the latest theory of atom is quantum mechanical model. Right now, I am not going to provide you any discussion on the quantum mechanical model of the atom, but we will have a clear-cut discussions on these topics. Just now, keep in mind, orbit is now in modern sense or modern science is outdated. The concept of orbital related to the quantum mechanical model of atom. Just keep in mind to this. In sense, orbits are simplified, holistical way of thinking about electrons, locations. Orbitals are more accurate and scientific way to describe the electron's probabilistic distribution within an atom. Got my point? If you do not understand these things, uh, you should knock me or inbox me. I will try to clear again. The next slide. Next. See here. This is orbit. You can see here, this is orbit. As we have earlier discussed earlier, this is orbit. This is orbit. This is orbit. This is orbit. This is orbital. This is orbital. This is orbital. So now you can understand from our the previous discussion. This is the pictures in front of you. You can see here, orbit is a round circular way, and orbital is a three-dimensional way. Orbit is two-dimension, orbital is three-dimension. Orbit provides them very less or very few data regarding the position of the electron, whereas orbital provides more data regarding the positions of electron within an atom. And next, see here, uh, the concept of orbit and orbital may be explained in terms of solar system. The universe is composed with the infinity solar system. There are so many solar systems in the world. There are so many uh, mm, billions galaxy. Each and every galaxy have its own model. So among of them, we are straining in terms of the whole universe. If you think for your Earth, for the Earth is less than a point. In terms of universe, think clearly. In terms of universe, the Earth, the position of Earth, the area of Earth is less than a point. If you put a point like this, if you put a point, see here, if you put a point like this one for your PTV, for the Earth, then this point, this Earth positions in terms of universe will be less than point. So think that how much bigger the universe is. Think that how much bigger the creator. Think that how much bigger the Allah in terms of Muslim. So this is another examples of the existence of the creator and his absolute power. So you can see here within the universe, the atomic structures are also uh, um, um, residing in the solar systems or the universal creative mechanism. So if you understand clearly the structural positions of at an electron, then you can understand the whole universe. The next, see here, this is the nucleus, first cell, and see here, this is first cell, second cell, and third cell. Then next, was this slide? This is s orbital. This is p orbital. This is p orbital. P orbital are divided into three suborbital, which is known as px, py এবং pz, px, py and pz, px, py and pz. So this is the classification of the p orbital. So you can write down the name of the orbitals which are available or which we will study in later, so today, tomorrow. S orbital, e orbital, s orbital, p orbital, d orbital, and f orbital. There are gradually the number of orbital will increase, but they are much more complex. So it is not your included into your syllabus, so you are not going to discuss regarding this. There's just keep in mind that there are simply the SPDF. These are the orbital, and how to look the s orbital. This is s orbital. You can see this is p orbital, px, py, and pz. These are the orbital classification. Just keep in mind. Okay. Next. Thank you. So now today we have gone through a question, question discussions, that is O level from EDXL. This also was our demo class. I hope you have enjoyed, and the concept of orbit and orbital has been clear. If not yet, then try to watch the video once again and try to understand. And even if you fail to understand in any point or at any word to understand, or fail to find out the explanation of the words, then let me um, then inbox me. I will try to have a live class or solve online. Students from the English medium or English medium school from O level and A level are requested to drop your opinion so that I can make video or I can inform or I can answer your questions regarding chemistry, biology, math, and English and ICT. So I hope you understand. And we are covering all the papers and subject matters of O level and A level, including economics. So feel free to communicate to us so that we can help you. This is absolutely online based positions and offline based position. Offline base is available at Uttara, and online based position available on the globe. So any part, so from the any part of the world can enjoy, can take part to our online classes and to solve academic problems for from standard 6 to A level and English version. So thank you so much once again, and we will have our next class very soon.